Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Little Women. This is the 2019 version because there's like a million of them. This is rated PG. It runs 2 hours and 15 minutes. It stars Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Florence Pugh, among others, among others. Um, the description is what it always is. Jo March reflects back and forth on her life, telling the beloved story of the March sisters, four young women, each determined to live life on her own terms. This is the 2019 version of Little Women. Well, I don't know. If you've ever seen a review of mine before, um, where I talk about redone movies, I have quite an interesting opinion about them because the last one that was really controversial for me was Lion King. And I don't think that they should have redone that even the way they did because all they did was move different parts of the story around and it just doesn't feel right. Like what we grew up with as Lion King and what kids nowadays are going to grow up with, it almost feels like blasphemy. And I just can't believe the new version is the way it is just because they move things around and they're like, oh, something new. And, of course, they digitalized everything too. But so, it's comparing apples and bananas, to which version you like. And everybody had their own opinion about Lion King when it came out. I did know some people that loved that movie. I can't believe it, but it's what are you gonna do about it, But I just can't even fathom that being a real version of Lion King. I can't believe it's out there for people to watch. That's how disgusted I was. And this is the same thing. And I'm going to stick to my guns on this kind of stuff because everybody's going to think differently about different things. I loved Aladdin. I own it. It's right up here. And everybody seemed to tear that movie apart, So it's just kind of, difference of opinion, what your flavor of the movie is. This is nothing to disagree on. It's just we are going to disagree because of our taste in movies. So I am here to highly recommend the 2018 version of this movie, Little Women, because I think that is the best one. I watched it in theaters. I fell in love with that movie, and then a year later, they put supposedly better actors in there and make it more dramatic or something and move some scenes around and they say, oh, here, look, a brand new thing. And a lot of people loved it. I have personal friends who went to this movie like twice in theater, and I was like, really? So I finally saw it here months later and did not see it in theaters. And I just cannot believe how they moved the scenes around to not make any sense whatsoever when the 2018 version put it right in a row and had a story and everything made complete sense. And it just disgusts me. It just does when people make movies like this. So, as far as this movie goes, I will say that the sister that played Amy was the worst part. I felt like she was dry. I felt like she was the younger version of Amy. Yes. And I felt like she added nothing to this. She was a whiny little thing, and that's exactly what she was supposed to be, I know, but she was the worst one. She was so annoying. She sounded like a little girl coming into the movie set and whining about not having a free cookie or something instead of an actress being a whiny younger sister. It was, I can't really explain that any better, but that's what it felt like. And I think the direction of this movie, what annoyed me the most was that they didn't have the sisters be all that creative with their club. And that's like the biggest thing in the version I like in 2018. is they actually had their club a couple times. This one, they had one freaking meeting, and then they invite Lori. It's like, what? You're going to have one meeting of your club, and then, oh, let's invite a boy. So that felt really weird. The involvement of Lori's grandfather had to invite Beth over to his house like 2 times before it actually happened, and then he was talking more and more about himself and his piano and his house throughout the movie. That felt very awkward. He's not that involved in the 2018 version, and I like that way of doing it a lot better. So, just a couple examples of, the between the two movies. There's lots more versions of this movie if you want to watch it. So, I mean, why do they keep doing this? Somebody tell me, please. Why do they keep redoing Little Women with different people? Is it that great a movie? Is it, that legendary that they just want to keep doing it every single year? Because how are we supposed to keep track? How are we supposed to say, oh, this one's better than this one? But I am gonna always be honest that the 2018 version is the best. I like the people in there. I like the story structure. I like the way things are handled. It's all the best way to me. So where does this one rank among even the Little Women's? I don't know. So how do you rank it as a just a general movie? Um, in the Little Women landscape, I think it's a good one because it does have all these kind of whatever you want to call them, accomplished actresses. And of course, Meryl Streep plays her part. I didn't even talk about her, but like she played her part well. She didn't do anything extraordinary or anything like that. So, um, I think that this movie by itself, as a general movie that I've watched, since I'm watching lots of movies here in April 2020 due to the virus, I'm gonna give it a C minus. It's really close to being a really awful movie that I've watched ever for any movie. And once it starts getting closer, lower than a C, it gets kind of questionable. So. Okay. So, anyways, um, losing my train of thought here. Sorry. Um, yeah. So I would say that this movie is going to be better than some of the older versions because of the actresses it has in it and all that. That's great, and everything. So, C minus for Little Women. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Enjoy movies, guys. Thanks.